Hi, everybody. It's Lori Vance, and I want to talk about defrauding our brothers in Christ, quote unquote, defrauding. This whole notion became very popular when someone that I used to know, Michelle Duggar, became very popular through a television show. And she began speaking about how ladies need to be covered up, from the collarbone down to their ankles, except when they're alone with their husbands. And because this defrauds men who might see us being immodest, and since we can't righteously fulfill their lustful desires towards us, then we shouldn't be doing it. And while, I love Michelle to death, we don't speak anymore, and that's a shame, but I still love her to death. I don't agree. That is putting all of the responsibility of a sexual assault on the female child or adult, and that's not okay, ever. For one thing, a man who is going to rape, or a boy who is going to molest or rape, is going to do so, whether you're covered all the way up to your head, or, whether you're in, a skirt and a blouse, or shorts and a bikini top. It doesn't matter to them. It is not, nor has it ever been, about attractiveness or lust or anything like that. It's about power. And to put that blame on an innocent victim, especially, a 3 or 4-year-old child, that's just not okay. This attitude, I believe, came about from the idea that they needed to, or we as Christians needed to, protect our men from becoming abusers in the way of sexual assaults. And I think, too, it came about in a way as a way of protecting our de facto or actual church leaders, a way of protecting them by saying, it's your fault, you walked around looking like this, you did that, it is not his fault, he responded the way God designed him to. That's BS. God did not design men to be rapists. That is not how they're designed. They do have self-control. They can control themselves. It is not up to us to control their desires. They get to do that. They are able to self-regulate just like we are. So that is a bunch of bull. And this whole thing about handling this sort of thing in-house, inside the church, is never good either. Refusing to involve law enforcement and mental health counselors for the victim. See, this is where it all just kind of snowballs and rolls downhill, and in the form of an avalanche. This sort of treatment of victims within the Christian community where sexual assault is concerned has got to stop. Victims are not ever to blame for sexual abuse or sexual assault. It is always the blame of the one who assaulted them. And so telling women that they must dress modestly so that they don't defraud their brothers in Christ, that is so the wrong thing to do. It is not biblical. I'm not saying that I am against the biblical idea of modesty. I'm not against that. I am against torturing victims further by telling them it's your fault that he did this to you. As a mental health counselor in training, I can tell you that that is extraordinarily damaging to the victim's psyche, to her sense of self, to her ability to heal from it and move on, to move past it and be able to make herself whole again. No, stop teaching this, and stop teaching this now before too much more damage is done in your church and in your community.